Hello and welcome to Loose Butthole Reviews. Today we are reviewing Pulgasari.
Pulgasari. Pulgasaria!
Pulgasari! uh, alright, so like always, we're gonna give our ratings so we can get into spoilers and everything.
Oh yeah.
Initially, I was gonna give it a 3.
hmm
What initially,
And
what,
I was initially gonna give it a 3.5.
but after some thinking and after some kind of talking about it before we've actually reviewed it, the ratings have changed. Uh,
Some
what has
some
it
some
changed to,
journeys
Spooge?
happened. Yeah, I went through a huge journey. I went back into myself. I saw the Pulgasari inside. Right.
Gotcha. And it's just after thinking about it after a while, it's just something that I would definitely have to recommend people watch, just for the backstory of the film alone.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh, I give a little context for this at first. This is because this is a North Korean film.
Oh
That's
yes,
worth mentioning. That's unique. If anybody
very.
knows anything
It's
about
extremely
North
unique.
Korea, we could only watch this on YouTube because there's no official release other than like, I mean, someone has a copy of it that got somehow leaked out and has been shown. I think it was the first time it was shown. It was like an Australian film festival,
Oh nice.
like 20, 30 years ago.
Well, I'm
But
definitely glad that it got out. To be honest.
and let me, because I needed, because I'm a basic white American motherfucker. I can't remember hard names that aren't my own.
Gotcha.
And it's hard with South Korean ones because it's like it's almost they stretch them out into like three words.
I feel you.
So let me. And this guy's been so much, he needs to have his name properly said. Let me see. Because the creator of this film was a South Korean actually, and he was kidnapped to make. Go more into that in a sec. Come on, folks.
All right, so
My internet. Oh, hopefully it's not. I don't know how I'm talking on here. If it's being this bad on here. One second. My phone's loading.
gotcha.
Oh, there we go.
Let's give our
Uh,
rating. Let's give our official rating.
oh yeah. 4.
Yes, it is a 4 for me as well.
And Shin Sang-ok is the. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I think like it'd be like Shin Sang-ok or something. Though it might not even be that because sometimes it's not even. I don't know. I'd have to hear it. I haven't heard it really said. I've only heard it said by white people too, white
Gotcha.
American people.
That's understandable.
But anyway,
So,
from 1978 uh,
yes.
to 1986, he was kidnapped against his own will in North Korea. He was first to actually it was his wife that got well, same year too. They've been in there for the same amount of time because they escaped together finally.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha.
so I'll just give a little timeline. Like, okay, Shin's wife, Choi Yun Hee, and I'm definitely butchering that more. But she gets lured to Hong Kong because she thinks that she's speaking with a Chinese director about doing a movie, but then she's basically nabbed by North uh, by like the North Korean, basically their secret police, uh, and put on a boat and taken to North Korea. And she's held in a re-education place, not without any information. Like they didn't tell her yet that like, oh, we're stealing you for a movie, or anything like that. No, they just like nabbed her and said like, you're blessed to go to and meet the great leader and shit like that.
Gotcha,
Like with no
gotcha.
context of what's happening. So, Shin, and this is important too. This is his formal wife. They're separated. They're actually, yeah, they're divorced. But they're on good speaking terms and they're friends because they work together a lot. Um, and
They
he
went through
goes to
this.
investigate because, like,
They went through this huge ordeal together.
because yeah, yeah, and they will, and I'll get into that part too because that's the crazy part. That there's a really crazy thing that happens, but anyway, he goes to Hong Kong to investigate because he's under investigation in her disappearance because no one knows what happened to her, and they think that
Understood.
he got rid of her, you know. So he goes to Hong Kong to investigate, and then he gets like a weird tip, and then he gets kidnapped, and his ordeal goes for like is extended for 3 years of like not knowing why he was taken, where he is. He tried to escape a couple times, which made him actually go to their prisons, and he was imprisoned and tried to escape prison a couple times, and then put into the re-education system again until finally he was deemed after 3 years as a as being properly re-educated. They finally broke him down, and
Damn.
after 3 years of not seeing his former wife, all of a sudden he's brought to Kim Jong-il with her, and this is the first time he's seeing her after he went to investigate like her disappearance, and was taken to this place without any context that she was even here in the first place. Uh, Kim announces that, oh, we're gonna remarry you, and they're forced to be remarried because
Uh,
in North Korea, I mean, even in South Korea, it's I know it's very socially looked down upon for like getting divorced and especially cheating and stuff. North Korea, if you cheat on your spouse, they'll flamethrower you to death. That is
fucking
the
A.
punishment.
Holy
So they
shit.
take marriage very seriously. So he didn't think it'd be appropriate that his new director that was going to make all these new great North Korean films that will make them rise in the in the national like film industry and make everyone understand the brilliance of North Korea. It'd be very it wouldn't it'd be unbecoming of them to be divorced.
Gotcha.
Some divorced gross person
Gotcha,
apparently.
gotcha.
So they just get forced to be remarried, and he makes 7 films for Kim Jong Il in the course of well, I guess that'd be. Let me do the math here because I mean, for they were in there for what 78 to 86. That's about eight. That's 8 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So and then there's 3 years in the prison. I'm doing math here, and I'm really stoned. There's a reason I failed college in the math in the math department of it because I can't do it in my head. But why can I? It's
I
three
could if
fucking
I had
minus
the
eight.
numbers.
Fuck, five, fucking five. For 5 years, he made for a course of 5 years he made 7 films. The last of them and best known one, and the only one we have the full version of outside of North Korea is Pulgasari.
Yes.
That was a really
And
long explanation.
yes, very, very long. But it's
But
fine.
it puts the context of like the what's going on here. Also, and what's good about and what's different about Pulgasari too is they didn't go through as big of an ordeal because they were only kept there for the length of uh, Pulgasari. Though I don't actually know their escape story or how they got out, so I never actually looked into it. But there's a lot of the original staff team was tricked into going that they were going into Hong Kong to do a movie, but they were flown into North
Of
Korea to do
Godzilla, yeah. And
Pulgasari.
they
Yeah,
also kidnapped the original staff team of Godzilla.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
this film has a crazy story.
yeah, but it really puts context into actually, and why it's important is that the story itself of like the circumstances that are going on, and the Kim Jong Il is a producer on this, which I definitely confirmed that he was definitely on set the whole time.
I can only if he was probably on set on all the movies they made.
Yeah. He was playing. This was all an excuse, really, to play director. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
also,
pretty much.
this
I
was Big
figured.
Baby Kim Jong-il playing with his human toys. It's a very scary situation. Oh, it's all good. Um, but it really puts into context the plot that happens because it's actually pretty subtle. It's surprisingly subtle, even the if you look through the surface uh, analogy of what's going on here, the pro North Korean of what this was meant to be, of uh, of what it concludes to. Should I just break down the movie?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and break down the movie. That will pretty much explain both our ratings.
Okay, so I don't remember names, but basically we got fucking an evil greedy. I mean, honestly, it's presented as like a monarchy. Uh, but they
Basically, an evil capitalist king.
Yeah, evil capitalist king, and the cap. Honestly, it's a lot less subtle at the end about him being capitalist, but he's taken all the weapons, irons, tools, just like all the material, basically just robbing all the resources away from all the peasants, and I think the main characters being a family, one with the grandpa being he's the smith, he's
Yes, he's
the
the blacksmith.
blacksmith, and he he provides weapons to a rebel group to try to take back the farm tools that the peasants need to live from the evil soul capitalist government.
Yeah, evil capitalist government. Yes.
Yes. Um, sorry, my headset going off,
Yeah, I
taking
figured.
off my train of thought. But oh yeah, uh, of course the government finds out he's doing this and that he has a bunch of hidden weapons. Or I think also there's a thing I might be getting it mixed up. I think at first it was his nephew that was sneaking weapons to the rebel group, but then he
His
like
nephew
comes
was a part
around.
of the rebel group.
Yeah, he was part of a yeah. They're also called like bandits too,
Yeah, they
but they're
call them
just yeah.
bandits.
But
Trying to
anyway,
demonize them.
but I think the whole thing was that the old man kept quiet about it because I don't know if he wanted to be a part of it or if he came. I can't remember if he decided to just provide him to him a little later. But anyway, he gets punished for the weapons that were provided, and he is basically starved to death in like a cage while everyone else gets to eat. Uh, or they're attempting to starve him to death. But his family comes around and they try to feed him. They throw rice in his cell, but instead of eating it to save himself, he makes kind of a self-sacrifice, and I guess in some ritual, he molds the food into a little figure of of what he says is a Pulgasari, and he dies instead. Like I think he even said some like I think he said like a ritual, right? Didn't he say some words,
Yeah,
magic
I
words?
believe he did, if I remember
He might have
correctly.
prayed actually.
I love
He
how
might have
that
actually prayed.
you can tell that they were trying to make an allegory about how important their food was and how they should cherish it.
Yeah. Oh, that I didn't see that. That's a good pull. Good
I
possible
actually
pull.
just
I
thought
like
about
that.
that.
See, there's more even going back into this. But anyway, so he's yeah, and but it's sort of it's kind of lucky how the Pulgasari even comes to be because it's like that doesn't even like make it happen. Like it's not until like the daughter accidentally like cuts herself and
Oh
bleeds
yeah,
on
yeah, and she
the
has to bleed on the Pulgasari for it actually to come to life. But it
yeah, which
is
is like that
possessed
was
by
really
his
lucky.
soul.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wondered why it went Jedi Ghost at the end. Anyway, the Pulgasari gets made after that. And the whole thing about the Pulgasari, well, all you need to really know about his powers is that the more iron he eats, the bigger he gets.
Yeah, and he seems to be indestructible as well.
Yes, and he's super indestructible.
Hmm.
And for the most part, is I guess our protagonist, or at least I mean, he's the hero at the very least.
I saw the protagonist as the chick because they kind of made him the villain in the end.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of screen time because I think he got more screen time.
Yeah, he definitely got more screen time because I'm going to assume the director kind of convinced him that Pulgasari was supposed to be an allegory for Kim Jong Un, and he just didn't realize that in the end he's the villain.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
that was
but yeah, anyway, like yeah, they basically they basically discover that oh shit, we can fucking feed this beast more iron and it's actually friendly towards us since we're feeding it. Uh, so let's use it to take down the king.
yeah, and then they
And
overthrow
they
the
do. And you got the scene of like the one governor like spilling the coins when
yeah,
he's trying to escape.
and he's
and
trying
and
to
the
save
king
the moment.
cowering,
Yeah,
cowering in fear at the might of the Pulgasari, the might of the the fucking red fist of North Korean Democratic fucking whatever the long-winded fucking name it is.
yeah, it's a very long name.
But but the twist at the end is that things kind of suck now because I mean, and it's the Pulgasari is not really violently taking anything, but they
He's
still
destroying anything that
are
contains
out of
iron.
like yeah, and out of Korean sense of honor, they it's like, well, you saved us, so we're just gonna like give you our iron now since we're owed to you.
Yeah, and
We
they
owe
kind
you
of
our
fuck
lives
themselves over.
until like the until that one like I think it was like only the chick itself herself that was just like, no, this can't like go on. For this is the same. We're back to square one.
I think she was the only chick in the
And
film, to be honest.
yeah, only main one, definitely with any type of speaking role. Um, feminist icon. There you
Mm.
go.
Hmm.
Uh, but she tricks the Pulgasari because the Pulgasari is nice. It's not gonna like just eat people. It wants you to eat iron, so she hides inside like a big iron bell, and the Pulgasari eats her and turns to stone and fucking explodes.
I wonder why he explodes. That part got me. I didn't understand that.
Just to signify, like, I guess he's dead. I
I
don't
guess
know.
so.
I don't know if there's because also a note, Pulgasari based is actually based on an actual myth, a Korean overall Korean myth in both parts. I think in South Korea it's like kind of known as Bulgasari. It's like a little weird, a little
Yeah,
weird iron eating monster.
yeah, but it's definitely good, well acted, well acted for the time and for the conditions everybody's under. It's definitely a good film.
And why it's a 4 star is that after explaining that plot, Yeah, I mean, we touched upon it a little bit, but you do have like, I mean, I don't really know much about Korean history. I know it mostly got split up pretty bad because like after World War II, and just also just of how decimated it got by the Japanese.
Gotcha.
There's pretty rough stuff. um, but I'm pretty sure there was a pretty oppressive regime before, you know, so
Yeah.
you can see that analogy. And but I do like it showed that it just went back to square one. I mean, honestly, we could say that it got worse. It was worse than, I mean, it's worse now than it's ever been.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
the balls to hide that message under the nose of someone that would, if they caught wind of that, would just execute you on the spot.
Yeah, it's definitely not a place you want to be at.
No. So, I mean, I don't know ethically about like, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, like, we don't know how ethically this was made. I mean, also the actors in it, like, just them being North Korean citizens is just unethical.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there people at least got injured while making this, if not absolutely killed.
Yeah. And I feel like if people got killed, he might have said something, especially after now that it's actually has somewhat of a release. But I feel like definitely people or if not horribly physically hurt, were mentally under a lot of terror, just psychological
Oh
by
yeah, for
itself, you
sure.
know.
It definitely wasn't a place
Apparently,
you want to be.
from what I've seen of like some of the scenes from like other and just like how like the other movies that the dude made uh is described because apparently with North Korean actors there's an issue because they don't emote a lot. They have a lot of trouble with the acting. Uh, the, it's almost like there's a reason. And it's the more notable apparently in a lot of the other movies, but it's I think they're a lot more natural in this one. It
Yeah, but
wasn't the worst acted. It's
I
hard to tell from with like it being dubbed over and stuff, but
I
yeah.
I hate to say it, the times that they're scared though, they actually might be scared for their lives.
Yeah, they know how to do that at least.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also got a
They're
decent. It doesn't have an
really
annoying
crazy though.
soundtrack. The soundtrack doesn't get in the way of the film. It actually adds to the film. I say.
And I mean, like the action wasn't brilliant, but the action was entertaining. I wasn't super bored at despite their Pulgasari not showing up till like 20 minutes plus. I mean, I know it was over just a little over 20 minutes before we got any type of monster. But
Yeah, but
I wasn't too mad about it.
no, no, because as soon as Pulgasari got on screen, the film immediately became about Pulgasari.
And I'm definitely a little bit broken down from from War of the God Monsters.
Uh,
Which didn't get any type of monster except for like the first 5 seconds of the film, which is like a
you
really weird
you
abrupt thing. You don't get any stock footage until 40 minutes, and
you
it's
can
just
you
Ultraman stock footage.
you might want to save that. You might want to save that. All right, so
Just putting it in perspective of how I judge things.
gotcha. I'm judging this based on a kaiju film and the circumstances that's behind it. The backstory is
Yes.
crazy.
Mhm.
All right, so we can call this actually
Oh hell yeah.
that
Nice.
was our review of Pulgasari. Final verdict is a solid 4.
Solid four, and definitely recommend. It's even if you don't like it, it's like just the story behind it, and especially do more research in the story behind it, and then watch it too. That's the best way to do it. Just maybe you'll catch more things, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That I 100% agree with you. All right.
By itself, it's an okay kaiju movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely an okay kaiju movie. The backstory just elevates it above being an okay kaiju movie.
Definitely.
All right. So, if you're still listening,
Now I'm
uh,
ready.
if you're still listening, thank you. Please like and
So
please. I'm doing the outro. Thank you. If you're
I
still
got you.
listening,
I'm like, yeah.
if if you're still if you're still listening, please like or dislike the video. Leave a comment and share it around. Subscribe and ring the notification bell. Thank you. Bye bye.
Pulgasari up!
Pokemon!